Hi guys, I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be Lost Media Category 26. Curious George, partially lost animated short TV series based on books, 1980s. Curious George is a 1980s television short series produced by Lafferty, Harwood, and Partners. Margaret Ray, co-creator of Curious George, originally began production of episodes with Alan Shellac, though LHP Latterty finished production due to financial issues. After airing in Canada, the cartoon was brought to the U.S. on Nickelodeon in the 1980s and the Disney Channel in the late 1980s through the 90s. Some episodes distributed on home media, while all were made into educational releases. A total of 104 episodes were produced, but 87 are currently found, though more are expected to be available soon, as implied by YouTuber Curious George VHS. Synopsis. The series comprised of episodes only roughly 4 to 5 minutes in length. Each story revolves around the adventure of Curious George, who lives with the man in the yellow hat, while he initially brought him home from Africa in nearly every episode. Curious George causes trouble, but recompenses for his mistakes with good deed. Releases. Lafferty, Harwood, and Partners, Ltd., the company that provided the majority of the funding, illegally gave the series rights to various media distribution companies. Sony was the first company to manufacture tapes with some of the episodes. The episodes were given educational releases by several distributors, most notably among its educational releases. Luciner Films, later renamed Luciner Media, released all the episodes on several formats. One known DVD release with 12 episodes was made by New Video Group in 2004. Not to be confused with Curious George Rides a Bike DVD, made by the same company in the same year. A number of other media companies released episodes of the series throughout the 1980s and 90s. Lawsuit. In 1991, Margaret Ray, co-creator and partial right holder of Curious George, won a lawsuit against Lafferty, Harwood, and Partners, LHP, provide funding for 72 of the 104 episodes that were made, and as a part of the agreement were granted a TV rights to the series, extending their rights to third-party companies and distributed physical media copies of the series. LHP was charged with copyright infringement and was successfully sued for $300,000 in damages. Here are the episode list. Curious George and the Art Show, found. Curious George and the Ballot, found. Curious George Goes Sledding, found. Curious George Goes to Aquarium, found. Curious George Plays Baseball, found. Curious George Walks the Pets, found. Curious George Rides a Pony, found. Curious George to the Supermarket, found. Curious George Goes to the Ranch, found. Curious George Goes to the Library, found. Curious George Rings a Bell, found. Curious George Visits the Barber, found. Curious George at the pet shop, found. Curious George at the little dog, and the little dog, found. Curious George gets a pizza, found. Curious George goes to an ice cream shop, found. Curious George paints a billboard, found. Curious George at the bakery, found. Curious George and the new neighbors, found. Curious George and the mini marathon, found. Curious George and the runaway elephant, found. Curious George goes to the amusement park, found. Curious George at the airport, found. Curious George goes to the restaurant, found. Curious George goes fishing, found. Curious George goes to the zoo, found. Curious George goes skiing, found. Curious George goes to the bowling alley, found. Curious George at the drive-in movie, found. Curious George at the parade, found. Curious George at the photograph studio, found. Curious George plays baseball, found. Curious George goes to the department store, found. Curious George at the fire station, found. Curious George at the farm, found. Curious George at the beach, found. Curious George visits a police station, found. Curious George at the laundromat, found. Curious George delivers the papers, found. Curious George goes to the circus, found. Curious George goes to a flower show, found. Curious George visits the railway station, found. Curious George goes to the tailor shop, found. Curious George goes to college, found. Curious George wins a contest, found. Curious George goes apple picking, found. Curious George at the carnival, found. Curious George visits a ketchup factory, found. Curious George gets a star, found. Curious George visits a toy store, found. Curious George and the organ grinder, found. Curious George wins a race, found. Curious George goes to the air show, found. Curious George goes to the wedding, found. Curious George and the maple syrup, found. Curious George gets to the post office, found. Curious George visits the old town, found. Curious George and the dinosaur, found. Curious George watches the little blue car, found. Curious George goes to the gym, found. Curious George gets an x-ray, found. Curious George and the greenhouse, found. Curious George visits a hotel, found. Curious George and the dump truck, found. Curious George meets the painter, found. Curious George meets the balloon man, found. Curious George goes to tomato picking, found. Curious George goes to the museum, found. Curious George goes to the shoemaker, found. Curious George goes on the ice, found. Curious George learns to write, found. Curious George becomes a salesman, found. Curious George at the bookstore, found. Curious George visits the dentist, found. Curious George catches butterfly, found. Curious George and the puppeteer, found. Curious George plays bingo, found. Curious George catches a foul ball, found. Curious George ties a knot, found. Curious George meets an Indian, found. Curious George goes to a cook-off, found. Curious George unveils a statue, found. Curious George and the lost letter, found. Curious George plays golf, lost. Curious George goes to the television station, found. Curious George goes to a block party, lost. Curious George goes camping, lost. Curious George bakes a cake, lost. Curious George goes to a concert, lost. Curious George goes at the country store, lost. Curious George goes to a country fair, lost. Curious George builds a birdhouse, lost. Curious George types a letter, lost. Curious George and the typewriter case, lost. Curious George drives a steam shovel, lost. Curious George goes to the surprise party, lost. Curious George and the birdwatchers, lost. Curious George and the frisbee, lost. Curious George goes Christmas shopping, lost. And the last episode, Curious George on parade, lost. And that was Lost Media number 26. Curious George, partially lost animated TV series based on books. 1980s. And if you guys like this video, please like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace, period. Hi guys, I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be Lost Media Category 46. The cheapest Muppet movie ever made. Lost production material of canceled Muppet film 1985 to 2009. The cheapest Muppet movie ever made is an unmade Muppet movie that was first conceived in 1985 by Jim Henson, Jerry Jewell, and Frank Oz. There have been several attempts to get this film made, most recently by Disney in 2009, but none made it past the screenplay stage due to, ironically enough, to budget issues. Despite having been confirmed to exist in multiple drafts, that the screenplay has never resurfaced. History. Longtime Muppet writer Jewell described the film's origins during an interview with the Muppet Central in 1998. There was a project for a Muppet movie that we kept returning to. Jim and I worked on it and just loved it. It grew out of the fact that Jim was talking about finances, and if we did another Muppet movie at the time, it would be needed to be done inexpensively since we were using a bigger and bigger budget for all other projects. So we conceived a movie slated as the cheapest Muppet movie ever made. That was the original working title and later became the subtitle with the title along the lines of Into the Teeth of the Demons of Death, which I say that's kind of a little bit too dark for the Muppets. Kids are watching this movie. Little kids, in fact. That's a really creepy title for a Muppets movie, if I may add to that. The idea being that the film was made... Let me start that again. I can't speak right now, guys. The idea being that this was a film that Gonzo directed. Kermit was too busy, so when Gonzo asked, Kermit said, "Sure, go ahead. I can't take on the responsibilities of being on screen at this time, but I'll perform it." So Gonzo wrote this cheesy, terrible plot that made absolutely no sense whatsoever about something being stolen that led to a chase around the world. Unfortunately, Gonzo blows half the movie budget on the opening title. So as the film progresses, it gets cheaper and cheaper when they use a shot the same street corner for every city in the world. We were still talking about this project in the last meeting I ended up having with Jim. Every now and then, we still bring up the movie. 6 months ago, Frank said to me, there's still something in that movie. It would be a lot of fun to do. One thing that kept it from happening, though, was that for the cheapest Muppet movie ever made, it still turned out to be too expensive to shoot. Things like Triangle Island blowing up with a volcano and such. Further details about the film's plot were revealed in 2013 Jim Henson's biography. Gonzo film within the film was confirmed as Into the Jaws of the Demons of Death, and a snowballing budget issues would eventually translate to a black and white Super 8 film that to a slideshow and finally storyboards. Finally, in a dramatic twist and ending, Gonzo would find corporate sponsorship, ensuring a spectacular climax in high-definition widescreen. During a 2020 live stream for the Museum of the Moving Image, Jim Lewis revealed that one scene would have crossover with the Muppet movie, showing the action behind the curtains of the Miss Bogan County beauty pageant moments before Miss Piggy entrance. The cancellation and availability. The film would not be mentioned publicly again until D23 in September of 2009, where it was announced as the Muppet film. However, it was pushed aside in favors the 2011's The Muppets. During a January 2018 Reddit AMA, Frank Oz said the film, when Dick Cook was head of Disney, he asked to get involved with a Muppet movie. So because the previous script was dated from being written 40 years ago, I did rewrite it with the help of Jim Lewis. And personally, I loved it and wished it could be made. But maybe it was time now is gone because it feels like Disney would go its own way. Outside of various remnants of the involved and title card shown at D23, no version of the screenplay has resurfaced in any format. So, that is pretty much Lost Media Category 46. That is Lost Media Category 46, the cheapest Muppet movie ever made. Lost production material of a canceled Muppet film 1985 to 2009. And if you guys like this video, please like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace, period. Hi guys, I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be Lost Media Category 68. Dr. Dre Hates His Fans, partially found YouTube video 2011. So this article has been tagged as needing work due to its informal writing and improper formatting. This was a notorious video that was uploaded by YouTube user The Genius Machine until 2021. The video was deleted along with the YouTube channel. Background. On July 2011, the YouTube user The Genius Machine uploaded a video named Dr. Dre Hates His Fans on YouTube. The video garnered negative attention with dislikes and comments were reacting unfavorably, while the video remained under the radar until Reddit picked this up in 2013 on r/videos and then on r/deep dive into YouTube. By the same token, it has been circulated as a joke on hip-hop music boards such as Kanye to the 3, Rap Genius, and Boxton. Footage. The video is a 1 minute 38 second long and consists of an awkward and contorted interaction between a celebrity, the hip hop artist Dr. Dre himself, and a fan. Then the video cuts to footage apparently from a French movie. The text in the movie might be unrelated, but shows a family taking a trip in the US, like stopping at Disney World. Lastly, the video ends with an ominous text at the end that seems the video giving off an eerie and unsettling tone. Availability. The video was deleted in 2021 in a vague reason given by the Genius Machine, because the powers that be told him to delete the video, even though he had no longer have the video. Until May of 2023, one user on the music forum website KTT2 uploaded the Dr. Dre Hates Fans video on a streamable rather in a truncated form where it's only the Dr. Dre portion. The streamable video was deleted, not the rest of the video, which is still lost. While the truncated form is still available, there is no progress of getting the full video or recreating the possible if can find the French movie accompanying to it. The truncated form was uploaded to YouTube. So yeah, there's a video here. about the video in a truecated form uploaded by Chief on YouTube. It shows the Dr. Dre part of the video. I'm not going to show off the video because I don't think it's really that important to the lost media. And also, I don't know if I will be getting copyrighted if I do show this video off. If YouTube doesn't want the video on YouTube, they don't want it on YouTube, so I'm not going to take the risk. There's some pictures here. The first part of the frames in the video and the second part of the frames in the video. And that's pretty much about it. That is Lost Media Category 638, Dr. Dre Hates Fans, partially found YouTube video 2011. And if you guys like this video, please like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace, period. Hi guys, I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be Lost Media Category 69, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Cabin Fever, Lost Production Material of an Unfinished Animated Television Special based on book 2010. Now, there wasn't really anything new and interesting for me to talk about, so I had to pick something random, and I picked this. So, if you don't know me already, I am a big Diary of the Wimpy Kid fan. I got all the movies on DVD except for The Long Haul, which I don't even count that as a Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie because it has none of the original actors from the original 3 movies. I got all the movies on DVD except for The Long Haul. And I have not watched any of the animated specials that are on Disney Plus because I don't have Disney Plus. But I will get Disney Plus whenever the Goosebumps revival comes out, which that's a whole other thing. But I haven't watched those either. But I have all 3 of the original Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies on DVD. I've seen all those movies multiple times. I got the whole collection of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, but they release a new Diary of a Wimpy Kid book each year, so I'm planning to get the newest one that comes out whenever it comes out. But overall, that's my history with Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I'm a big Diary of a Wimpy Kid fan. And let's jump into this Lost Media. So, Diary of a Wimpy Kid is a children's book series about a middle school kid named Greg Heffley and his misadventures with his friends, families, and bullies. As of 2021, there are currently 18 books in the series. The 6th book in the series is named Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Cabin Fever. The plot follows Greg's usual antics until about halfway through the book, where a snowstorm shuts down the schools, and Greg's family has to find a way to stay warm. There are 3 live-action films based on the book series being released from 2010 to 2012. But what is not known to the public eye is that there was a planned animated special based on Cabin Fever. Now, there's some inconsistencies about this article. There's actually 4 Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies. There's Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Diary of a Wimpy Kid Roger Rules, Diary of a Wimpy Kid Dog Days, and Diary of a Wimpy Kid Long Haul. So there's 4 movies. Even though I don't like Diary of a Wimpy Kid Long Haul, I actually really hate that movie because none of the original actors could come back because they were too old to play the parts for the characters. I didn't really like that one. But also, there's 18 books in the series. So yeah, a couple inconsistencies here. But anyway, announcement. Around December of 2012, Jeff Kenney was featured at a premiere event in the UK. He confirmed that third live-action film was the last one in the genre, at least until the sequel in 2017 with a new cast. But he announced an animated television special based on Cabin Fever. He announced it for a 2013 date. About a year later, after the 8th book, Hard Luck, was revealed, Kenney was interviewed again about various things. After confirming that there would be no more live-action movies for the time being, he mentioned the special again. It's time planning on a Fox Network sometime in 2014 holidays. Availability. As of 2019, nothing of the project has surfaced. Jeff Kenney has made other live-action movies since then, but nothing about the animated special has been announced since 2013. However, around 2018, an animated television series based off the books was announced by Fox. It is possible that the elements of the book, specifically elements of Cabin Fever, may make it into the series, which might appear on Disney's then upcoming streaming service, Disney+. Due to their acquisition of 20th Century Fox, the television series is the probably closest to the canceled special. On December 10th, 2020, during the Disney's Investor Day 2020 event, the animated Diary of a Wimpy Kid TV series was officially confirmed to be development for Disney+. So, yeah, this article is very outdated. They mentioned some things. They mentioned the 4 movies. They mentioned the long haul really quick. There's 18 books in the series. And they talk about at the end about the Diary Wimpy Kid TV series on Disney+. Like I said, I mentioned that at the beginning. Like I said, I have not watched either of those specials. They made 2 of them. There's one for Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and there's one for Roger Rules. But basically, of what I heard, in my opinion, I think they're okay. Of what I heard, they're basically like the live-action movies, but they cut a lot out of it. Like, a lot of stuff that happens in the live-action movie, they cut out of these TV specials, and yeah. Either way, I couldn't watch them anyway because I don't have Disney Plus, and I don't plan on getting Disney Plus. The only time I'm ever going to get Disney Plus is whenever the Goosebumps Revival comes out, but that will be for a while. But that is Lost Media Category 69. Diary of a Wimpy Kid Cabin Fever. Lost production material of unfinished animated television special based on book 2010s. And if you guys like this video, please like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace, period. Hi guys, I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be Lost Media Category 74. Herbie the Love Bug, Lost Disney Channel animated pilot, late 1990s to the 2000s. So before I get into this Lost Media, I'm just going to talk about my history with Herbie the Love Bug really quick. So, what's my history with Herbie the Love Bug? My history with Herbie the Love Bug is very broad. I remember watching one of the Herbie the Love Bug movies when I was younger. I can't remember which one it was, but I did watch Herbie the Love Bug when I was younger because Herbie the Love Bug is owned by Disney. So I watched one of the Herbie the Love Bug movies when I was younger, and there's also vintage cars of Herbie the Love Bug out there. There's vintage cars of Herbie the Love Bug, so you can see them at car shows and stuff, which I have gone to a lot of car shows when I was younger, and I still go to car shows. But, yeah, you can see it, Herbie the Love Bug, as a vintage car, because the series started all the way back in the 1960s, the late 1960s. The very first movie came out in 1968, and the last movie came out in 2005. They've had a couple, TV shows in between. They had one TV show that lasted for about 5 episodes, and then this show. And then back in 2017, Disney was having plans to bring Herbie the Love Bug back for another animated show, but nothing has happened since then, so, we gotta see what happens. Also, I have seen the movie for 1997 and 2005, Herbie the Love Bug, on family video shelves before. Yeah, I used to go to Family Video when it was open. It's sad that it closed, but it got closed because of the pandemic, and they weren't really making too much money anymore. But I've seen the two Herbie the Love Bug movies from 1997 and 2005 in their shelves, and I've never watched those movies. I've heard from people that those two movies are really bad, so yeah. But that's my history with Herbie the Love Bug. Very broad. I've only seen one Herbie the Love Bug movie, and it was when I was a little kid. So, yeah. But anyway, so Herbie the Love Bug was an old unsold 3D animated pilot made by Disney Channel based on Herbie the Love Bug movie series. The pilot was created by Modern Cartoons, mostly widely known as the creator of the children's TV show JJ the Jet Plane. Now, I'm going to go off topic real quick, and I'm going to talk about JJ the Jet Plane. Yes, I did watch JJ the Jet Plane when I was younger. I did watch it, but I can tell you the little kids shows that I watched more than JJ the Jet Plane were Thomas and Friends, Arthur, and SpongeBob. JJ the Jet Plane was just one of those shows that I kind of watched when I was younger. I watched it for a little bit and then I got over it because I thought Thomas and Friends, Arthur, and SpongeBob was better than JJ the Jet Plane. But anyway, what does this have to do with the lost media? Well, the creator of the children's TV series JJ the Jet Plane did the animation for this show, apparently, for this pilot. And if you have not seen the original series of JJ the Jet Plane, that show is fucking creepy as hell. The faces on those fucking planes are creepy. They're fucking creepy and cringe. I'm surprised how the fuck I didn't get scared when I was younger when I watched JJ the Jet Plane. But yeah, the creator of JJ the Jet Plane did the animation for this pilot, apparently. Info on the pilot is incredibly scarce, to the point where it's currently unknown when the pilot was made. The only proof of this pilot being from various images on an official Modern Cartoons website. Judging by the only images found, it's most likely that Herbie would have gone on adventures to different places like the moon or underwater, which that doesn't really make sense for Herbie the Love Bug because he's a fucking race car, but whatever. That's pretty much Lost Media Category 74. Herbie the Love Bug, Lost Disney Channel animated pilot, late 1990s, early 2000s. And if you guys like this video, please like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace, period. Hi guys, I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be Lost Media Category 93, Mo Sleazlak. I hope I'm saying that name right. Lost unaired original Christopher Collins dialogue of The Simpsons character, 1989. So, we all know The Simpsons, and Mo is a long-running character in The Simpsons. He is also the owner of Moe's Tavern, a bar which is frequently attended by one of the main characters, Homer Simpson, and his friends. He also is well known for being on receiving end of many Bart Simpson's prank phone calls at the tavern, often in Moe threatening physical violence against Bart. A lesser-known aspect of Moe is that he was not originally voiced by Hank Azaria, who is one of the people that has voiced many Simpsons characters over the years, and he is the voice of the main character, Homer Simpson. Christopher, but he was by CGI Joe voice actor Chris Collins. Collins recorded lines for Moe for 2 season 1 episodes until Moe's dialogue was later dubbed over by Hank Azaria. None of the Collins original dialogue has ever been publicly released. Background: Christopher Collins was born on August 30th, 1949 in New Jersey. He was best known for voicing Cobra Commander in G.I. Joe the Animated Series and voice of Starscream in the original Transformers animated series, and appeared in a variety of roles on such as shows as Star Trek, The Next Generation, and Deep Space Nine. Collins died to complications of a cerebral hemorrhage on June 12, 1994, at the age of 44. Collins voiced Mr. Burns in the season 1 episode Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire, Homer Odyssey, There's No Disgrace Like Home, and The Telltale Head, before being replaced by Harry Shearer. He also originally voiced Mo for the Season 1 episodes The Telltale Head and Some Enchanting Evening. According to his replacement, Hank Azaria, he was not aware there was originally a different voice actor for Mo until years later. Azaria also claimed series creator Matt Groening recalled he got along nicely with Collins and praised his voice work, but noted other key members despised him. Among those who failed to get along with Collins, including series co-creator Sam Simon, which likely contributed towards Collins' brief stay on the show. Azaria later summarized in a 2018 GQ interview, "Think about how awful the guy could have been on The Simpsons his whole life. Lesson to kids, always be nicer." Availability. None of the Collins recordings of Mo have ever been released to the public. Factoring in the crew's dislike of working with him and his staff, it's likely the dialogue will never be made public. There is a possibility it could be featured in an anniversary episode or documentary about The Simpsons, but no such official confirmation has yet been made. The recordings most likely reside in Disney archives, as Disney bought Fox in 2017 for $71 billion, with the deal being finalized on March 20th, 2019. And then there's some videos, like a GQ interview with Hank Azaria discussing Christopher Collins being the original voice actor for Mo, and a Some Enchanting Evening DVD audio commentary discussing the change in Mo's voice actor. So that is Lost Media Category 93, Mo, Slazlak, Lost Unaired Original Christopher Collins Dialogue of Simpsons Character 1989. And if you guys like this video, please like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace, period. Hi guys, I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be Lost Media Category 149, The Nightmare Before Christmas, Lost Original Vincent Price Audio of Disney Stop Motion Animated Film Early 90s. So, I had several options of Lost Medias that I could have done tonight. The first two I have been contemplating on doing for a while, but they have been replaced by other ones that I've wanted to do. The first one is, it's a Lost Media by a film that was made by Guillermo del Toro. He started working on it in the early 90s, and it's called Omnivore, and I plan on doing that one soon. It's a Guillermo del Toro movie, and that one couldn't do. The next one is a Pepsi thing. It's a Lost Media based on the Pepsi thing that happened in the Philippines, the fundraiser or whatever. I can't remember what it is. And then the last one is Batman Unchained. But because today is Christmas and it is Christmas Day, I was like, you know what? I'm going to put these other Lost Medias to the side, and I'll just do them in the new year. And I wanted to do a Christmas one. And I was looking at Christmas Lost Medias, and you know what? I'm going to do this one about The Nightmare Before Christmas, because it is a Christmas movie, but it also plays into the element really well that it could also be a movie for Halloween, because I like horror movies, I like scary stuff, and The Nightmare Before Christmas is a Halloween movie, but it's also a Christmas movie. But there's also another reason for me picking this Lost Media, and that is that it has Vincent Price. Well, he's not in the actual movie, but he does have Lost audio for the movie. Now, if you don't know who Vincent Price is, he's an older actor, but he's pretty good. He's well known in a lot of horror stuff. He's also in the Batman series from 1966. He plays the evil villain Egghead. So I have a connection with Vincent Price because of the Batman show from 1966, where he played the villain Egghead. So those are the reasons why I decided to do this Lost Media, because it's Christmas Day. The Nightmare Before Christmas is a Christmas movie, but also plays into the element of scary. And also, I felt like I could wait to do these other Lost Medias in the new year, and also Vincent Price. So, The Nightmare Before Christmas is a 1993 stop-motion film directed by Henry Selick, produced by Tim Burton and Denise Di Navi, and written by Caroline Thompson and Michael McDowell. It was released by Walt Disney Pictures under their Touchstone Pictures banner. The movie grossed $50 million in the global box office. Before Ed Ivory became Santa, the movie originally had Vincent Price as the voice of Santa, but due to health decline after his wife's death and his voice becoming frail and weak, and his recordings were deemed unsuitable, leading the role to be recasted, much to Selick's regret. Availability. Price's voice work has not been publicly released, and it's currently unknown how many copies, if any, still exist. It's also unknown who have a copy of the original voice recordings of the movie. And that is Lost Media category 149, The Nightmare Before Christmas, Lost Original Vincent Price Audio Disney Stop Motion Animated Film, early 90s. And if you guys like this video, please don't forget to please like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace, period. Hi guys, I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be Lost Media category 177. Gigantic. Lost production material of canceled Disney animated film 2013 to 2017. So this video actually came from a suggestion in my YouTube comment section. I would like to thank Sam McFarland for suggesting this Lost Media video to me. So thank you, Sam McFarland. I really appreciate it. So he wanted me to do this video of this Lost Media gigantic Lost production material of canceled Disney animated film 2013 to 2017. It is Lost Media, obviously, so let's just get right into it. So, Gigantic was a Disney animated musical based on a fairy tale, Jack and the Beanstalk, that began production in 2013 but was confirmed to be canceled in 2017. Set in Spain during the Age of Discovery, the movie would have followed a character named Jack as he discovers a world of giants hidden above the clouds. In 2017, Gigantic's production was canceled for unknown reasons, and no footage from the movie has surfaced. Plot. This would be the first plot that came out in 2013. According to Bleeding Cool, the story at the beginning of development was not too dissimilar from many adaptations of the fairy tale. The hero was named Jack, and he would face off against brother giants named Fee, Fi, Fo, and Fum, which were short for Phoebus, Vivian, Fogel, and Fobert. They were led by a giant named Photius, who was, while a villain, was said to be a relatable point of view. Jack would fall in love with a woman above his class, Angelina, daughter of a merchant family, though that family thought him beneath her. As also vying for her love would be Marco, a notable man interested in traveling and opening up a new trade route. This trio would be joined by a preteen girl named Inma, who was a scrappy tomboy type and something of a class warrior in the world of the film. The humans and the storm giants have come to an agreement. The giants can keep danger away, and in return, the humans work for them and give them food and livestock. But the humans are getting fed up with this, which leads our four heroes to a journey where the giants live. Eventually, Jack befriends one of the giants, which changes everything. Here is a summary from 2015. Gigantic would have been set in Spain during the Age of Exploration. It would have followed Jack from a fairy tale as he discovers a world of giants hidden above the clouds. Jack then would befriend a female giant named Inuma, who is said to be 11 years old, 60 feet tall, fiery, feisty, and a lot to control, and would constantly treat Jack like a doll. Meanwhile, the antagonist of the film, known as Storm Clouds, would have stood at around 120 feet. Here is the history of this movie. While the fairy tale Jack and the Beanstalk had been used as a part of Disney's package film Fun and Fancy Free in the 1940s, the studio would also later be keen on making full-length feature movie out of it. There was an attempt in the early 2000s called You Don't Know Jack About the Beanstalk, and director Chris Buck and art director Mike Gemio spent some time developing the story during a brief period in 2010 when Frozen was shelved. This was eventually picked back up as Giants in 2013 by director Nathan Greeno, and then announced as Gigantic at the D23 in 2015, where it was slated to be a 2018 release. Songwriting couple Robert Lopez and Kirsten Anderson Lopez, both at Frozen Frame, were writing music for the film and performing the song Little Man at the D23 Expo. No recordings of the song have ever been released or leaked, according to Slash Film. Here are some of the lyrics. I love my little mom. I love my little man. You can make him do this. You can make him do this. You can wash him in a dish. Be careful, he gets ticklish. My teeny little man in the life that's kind of lonely. I thought it only had a little man. D23 Expo attendees were also known some previous clips for the film. One was a beanstalk sprouting into the sky and Jack climbing to the top where he would discover giants, only to be chased by Inuma. The other was a clip of two of them hanging out with Jack clinging to a strand of Inuma's hair. On June 30th, 2016, the release date of the movie was pushed back from March 9th, 2018 to November 21st of 2018, with Ralph Breaks the Internet taking the former date. In October of 2016, writer Meg LeFou would also screenwriter for Captain Marvel, Inside Out, and The Good Dinosaur, was promoted to co-director. The release date was later moved again to November 25th of 2020, before the film was eventually canceled in October of 2017, when Disney announced that the film had been shelved because it wasn't working the way they thought. Before the film's cancellation, Disney had released several pieces of concept art, including a parody Easter egg in the 2016 animated feature film Zootopia as the film Giraffic, with Duke Weaselton's attempt to sell off a bootleg DVD before being questioned by Judy Hobbs and Nick Wilde about the location of the Night Howlers, and included part one of the intended songs Little Man, an initial D23 D23 presentation. No further recordings of the song's features have surfaced. Since the film's cancellation, pieces of concept art have been released by artists who worked on the film. Disney also officially released pieces of concept art in their Hidden Art of Disney's Golden Age, the 1990s to 2020 book. Availability. As of the writing of this article, no footage from Gigantic has surfaced. Disney has been incredibly tight-lipped with regards to Gigantic, and it's unknown how far the movie was in production before being shelved. So there is a video about the announcement for the movie from D23 Expo in 2015. And then there's a bunch of concept art. There's the original logo, concept art, Zootopia Easter egg, the concept art from the 23 Expo, could possibly be the Storm Giants. Another picture from D23 features Inuma holding Jack, concept art of what could possibly be Jack's homeland, concept art of Jack holding on to Inuma's hair, concept art of Jack stuck in a jar being held by Inuma. Inuma finds Jack in the cornfields, early concept art by Dan Cooper. Concept art for possibly Jack's mom by Scott Wannabe. Jack and the Cow concept art by Scott Wannabe. Cow concept art by Scott Wannabe. Land of the Giants concept art by Andy Harkness. Inuma and Jack concept art by Mike Gabriel. Early concept art by Michael Gimio. Giant concept art by Mike Gabriel. Jack's Home concept art by Mike Gabriel. Human Kingdom concept art by Mike Gabriel. Inuma character model. Land of the Giants concept art by Minigul Helen Chan, Jack concept art by Miniguin Helen Chan, and Inuma concept art by Miniguin Helen Chan. Other than that, I won't show off the video due to copyright reasons, so I will link the video in the description and the comments of this video, and I will use some of the concept art in this video. I don't think this video is long enough for me to be able to use all the concept art, but I'll try to use most of it. Once again, I would like to thank Sam McFarlane for suggesting this video to me. Thank you, man. I appreciate you suggesting this Lost Media video to me. If you have any other Lost Media suggestions, just comment in the description, or just comment in the comments of my videos if you have another suggestion for a Lost Media. And that is Lost Media category 177, Gigantic, Lost Production Material of Canceled Disney Animated Film 2013 to 2017. And if you guys like this video, please don't forget to please like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Period. Hi guys, I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be Lost Media category 181, Larkins, partially found unfinished DreamWorks film 2013 to 2017. This Lost Media was suggested by a person that also suggested another Lost Media. So about a couple weeks ago, I did a Lost Media on a Disney film that came out, and it was Gigantic, and Sam McFarlane, yes, I'm saying his name right this time, Sam McFarlane suggested this Lost Media to me, and now, after a couple weeks of doing other Lost Medias, Now I'm finally getting back to another one that he suggested, and he suggested me to do a lost media video on Larkins, which is a partially found unfinished DreamWorks film, and he wanted me to do a video on it, and now we're doing it, so let's get into it. Larkins is an animated comedy musical that was one point in development at DreamWorks Animation, first announced in 2013. The movie was based on an original story written by screenwriter Harry Cripps, which told the story of a Bibbly named Perry who leaves home alongside Red the kangaroo to travel across the Australian outback. The movie had actors such as Hugh Jackman and Margot Robbie and Naomi Watts. Wow, those are actually some pretty good actors. They got some big names for this movie. That's a W on DreamWorks. Set to star in unspecified roles, English-Australian comedian musical by Tim Minchin, held at the helm of the project, writing songs for the movie as well as co-directing it alongside DreamWorks veteran Chris Miller. The movie was slated for February 16th, 2018, which would have made it the first DreamWorks animation movie to be distributed by Universal Pictures after the latter's parent company Comcast acquired the animation studio in March in 2016. Cancellation and Billuby. On March 5th, 2017, Tim Minchin announced on his personal blog that DreamWorks had canceled Larkins. However, with the movie far into productions, members of Larkins' production team, Lyron Topaz, Pierre Perfel, and J.P. Sasserton made use of assets already made for the film, like characters and background models, and came up with the first short film, Billuby, titled after the main character's species, which premiered at the Annecy International Animated Film Festival in 2018. On December 21st, 2018, Billuby was uploaded to DreamWorks' official YouTube channel but was deleted sometime afterward. However, it was released as a bonus feature on the Blu-ray release of How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. In an interview for the website Film Stories in April 2020, Tim Minchin revealed that after its cancellation, studios like Netflix and Animal Logic wanted to buy the rights to the movie, but with no avail, for he claimed that Universal made non-viable for purchase, likely to do DreamWorks' commitment to Billuby at the time. Surface footage. Months after movie's cancellation, animators have uploaded character and animation reels with work done for DreamWorks, most notably featuring footage from Larkin, stating with George Schnover, who uploaded it on June 3rd of 2017, a rigging reel featuring scenes with Hosper and Dorset, though without audio. Several other people who worked on the movie followed suit. On December 7th, 2017, Dave Watherly uploaded a 6-minute-long character reel, 3 of which dedicated to the canceled movie. On September 26, 2018, animator Scott Lemmer uploaded on his Vimeo account an animation reel showing footage from Larkins. On January 29th, 2019, Alexis Wanaroy, former animation supervisor at DreamWorks, also uploaded on his Vimeo account another reel showing footage from Billuby and Larkins, as well as BOO, Bureau of Otherworldly Operations, another unreleased DreamWorks project. A couple of days later, on February 9th, Wanaroy uploaded a pre-production reel showing additional animation from both canceled movies. Roughly 50 seconds of footage consists of animation tasks from Larkins, while 25 more seconds came from the 2 finished scenes, one which featured Perry, which would become the anonymous character for the short Bilby. On September 22nd, 2019, animation director Ruin Benenick uploaded 2 storyboard reels on his Twitter account. Concept art. Shortly after the movie's cancellation, illustrator and character designer Peter DeCevi shared a concept art of Larkins. DeCevi shared more Larkins concept art after Bilby being released online. On April 24th, 2019, DreamWorks art director Richard Dukakis shared concept painting on Tumblr, crediting DeCevi and animator Pierre Perfero for the character design. Additionally, an unknown date, designer Gabrielle Penasici, I don't know how to say that name. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that Italian name, sharing concept art from 2015 of Perry's family. It's unclear just how much of what's seen in the concept art was actually going to be used in the eventual film. And then there's a bunch of videos that I'm not going to show off due to copyright reasons, so I will link them in the comments and the description of this video. There's a bunch of animation reels for the movie that was canceled or unreleased. And then there's also a bunch of concept art as well, but I'm not going to be able to show off all the concept art in the video because this video is only 8 minutes long, so I'll just try to show as much concept art as I can, but there's a lot of concept art, so I will link the Lost Media article if you guys want to see all the concept art for yourself, because I'm not going to be able to show off all the concept art in the video. And that is Lost Media Category 181 Larkins, partially found unfinished DreamWorks film 2013 to 2017. Like I said again, I would like to thank Sam McFarlane for suggesting this Lost Media to me. Thank you, dude. Thank you for suggesting this Lost Media video. And if you guys like this video, please don't forget to please like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Period. Hi guys, I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be Lost Media Category 184, The Aristocrats 2, Disney Canceled Animated Film 2008. So I would like to say thank you to Sam McFarlane for suggesting this video to me. Once again, thank you to Sam McFarlane for suggesting another Lost Media video for me to do. I really appreciate that, Sam. You already know that I'm going to shout you out in the video and I'm going to tag you in it. So once again, thank you, Sam, for suggesting this video to me. And you already know the deal. If you ever have any other suggestions, just please post a comment on one of my videos and I will respond back. I don't know when the suggestions may come out, but if they're good enough, they might come out really early, but we'll see. Also, this is actually the first Lost Media video that I have done in a really long time that is not actually from the Lost Media Wiki. Now, from the intro, you probably couldn't tell that it wasn't from the Lost Media Wiki. Some people may think it is, and it is not. I actually had to go to fandom.com and the Disney Wiki to get this information because I was not able to find the Aristocrats 2 on the Lost Media Wiki, so it may not be that popular of a Lost Media, but I'm doing the video anyway. because Sam McFarlane suggested it to me, and I thought it was a good idea. So this would be the third video to not come from the Lost Media Wiki. The other two videos were suggestions by Platinum JM, aka KidBack1988. Thank you to that guy for giving me those suggestions for those videos and giving me the information for those videos. I appreciate that guy for giving me those Lost Media suggestions and me doing those Lost Media videos. So thank you to Platinum JM, aka KidBack1988. But anyways, let's get into this Lost Media. So The Aristocrats 2 is a canceled animated film that was to have been a sequel to the 1970 Disney film The Aristocrats, and it was scheduled to be released in 2008. Todd Carter recalled the making of the film. Well, the story of these films is a little convoluted, and I'll do my best to keep the facts straight. I was asked by director Jim Camerood of Hot Donut, formerly of Character Builders, to help with boarding on The Aristocrats 2. This film went through multiple scripts and different incarnations and probably didn't really have any clear vision in the beginning. Our goal was to create that vision and tell a solid story, with the exception of retaining the main characters. We were given a good deal of freedom to create original stories similar to The Fox and the Hound 2. We were given a script to work with, but unfortunately a good deal of time and money had already been spent on the previous versions before we got the job, and the producers at Disney were getting a little antsy to get the film rolling and put something on screen. We felt the script still needed some work, but the schedule was going to afford us the opportunity to rework the current version and still deliver the film on time and on budget. So a unique plan was hatched by Jim Camerad to deliver the first rough story real quickly and thus allow us some time at the end of the schedule to rewrite and fine-tune the story a good deal. The proposed time frame was 4 weeks. When I heard suggestion, I said, okay, great, 4 weeks is tight, but I think we can get the first act done. Jim said no, 4 weeks to do all 3 acts. I honestly didn't think it could be done. I wish I could remember how many board artists we had, but it wasn't that many, possibly 5 or 6. This was a Herculean task, and can tell you that I don't think it had ever been done for a film that scale. It would take a unique approach, so we devised a method where I'm not sure if everyone drew the same, which essentially do a large thumbnail board drawings instead of a full-size board. We created board panels on 7.5x 4.5 paper with 4.5x 2.5 inset frames. Our drawings would fit inside the smaller window area, and the dialogue and the camera direction would be written below. The paper was at the size that was easy to handle and stack while still allowing us to draw at a small scale. Obviously, with such small window to draw in, we couldn't do detailed or elaborate drawings. We have to limit the drawings to clear, essential information at the time. I was convinced the results would be less than acceptable, but I was surprised when I viewed our first story reel. The weakness in our story were apparent, but the overall quality of the reel was really quite good. In the end, I think we pulled it off in the 5 weeks, which was remarkable. To make a long story short, The Aristocrats 2 was eventually shelved because there was a skepticism by the executives that it would find significant audience in an ever more competitive market. It's one of those disappointing things that happened in the film business from time to time, but it may have been a wise call. The good news was that we had pulled off our little experiment and succeeded in delivering a quality reel in record time. The bad news was that we had an established precedent of what could have been accomplished in the time frame, and the producers and budgeters at Disney had taken notice. To make The Aristocrats 2, we tried to distill the essence of the original film. In the first film, the kitten's nemesis was misguided butler intent on stealing their fortune. The sequel created a similar dynamic by pitting them against a jewel thief on the open seas aboard a luxury cruise ship. The flavor of the film was sort of a mystery, farce, comedy. There was also a young kitty love interest for Marie, who would become the focal character of the film by singling out one of the character for the central story arc. We could have done a better job at strengthening the elements of the film. Sometimes when you have an ensemble cast, things can really get watered down because you don't have enough time to spend with each character. We tried to avoid pitfall. The original film takes place in Paris, but we didn't feel that exploited the setting to its fullest potential. We wanted to adopt a European flair by filling our ship with a cast from the places like France, Scotland, England, Spain, etc., thus creating a rich environment in both scenery and character in the era of the early 1900s. Our main objective, besides the mystery element, was to make it completely fun. We worked to hard up the action scenes and create a new level of energy. I really think this film was headed in the right direction. With another pass, we could have gotten in the right, but there are other important considerations in making films of any kind. Making sure you have an audience for your movie is paramount. Disney just felt The Aristocrats 2 was in jeopardy of failing through the cracks and incumbent market. Another interesting side note, by the way, originally this movie was slated to traditionally be 2D animated like the original. I personally am not a big fan of converting characters from 2D, mainly because there is an importance in designing for your target medium. Going this route would have lost a good deal of softness, which was essential to these characters' charm, but since it was ultimately shelved, the world will never know for sure. Yes, exactly. Sort of a murder on the Oriental Express without a murder. Trivia. Marie was to be voiced by Tara Strong. Berlitzo to be voiced by Nikita Futterman. And Talise would have been voiced by Cree Summer. Oh, they got some good actors for the movie. I think Tara Strong and Cree Summer are really good voice actors, especially for animated characters. The clumsy captain would have been voiced by the late George Carlin. Okay, another great animated character, voice actor, also a great comedian as well, who voiced in Zugar and Tarzan 2 and Fillmore and Disney/Pixar Cars. One of the clumsy captain's henchmen would have been voiced by the late Joe Astley. A teenage kid named Marcello, who was supposed to be Marie's love interest, was supposed to be voiced by Rob Paulson. Okay, another great animated voice actor. They got a lot of great animated voice actors for this movie. Edgar wouldn't have appeared in the sequel, but presumably because he was still in the Tubukudu. I don't know how to say that. Sorry, I butchered that. Napoleon and Lafayette, Abigail and Emelina Gable and Scott the Cat and the Alley Cats would have all been absent from this sequel. Animaniac. It appears the dialogue for the film had been recorded. Several Animaniacs for the film are known to exist, one of which shows the film that would have been set around Christmas time. Judging by the Animaniac, Marie would have sometime provided narration telling the audience that the knight is at the captain's bar and thinks that the unspecified male shall be there. With the Countess and the felines arriving, one of the other guests admires the Countess Diamond before her allergies act up to the felines and suggests they sit at the animal table where a seemingly gluttonous canine is sitting. The canine seems welcoming and offers them food, but the scent of food appears to be giving O'Malley sickness. The clumsy captain then arrives and welcomes to the Sardina, the ship on which the film is set on. The animatic can be seen here. More storyboards were uploaded to an online portfolio of Dan Root, which features a sequence between Berlizzo and Tulise as they search about the ship, coming across a Scottish passenger sneaking into a lifeboat. Upon investigation, it turns out the passenger having a romantic drink with a lady passenger, but the date is disrupted by Berlizzo and Tulise, resulting in the Scottish passenger whacked by an oar by a lady passenger as Berlizzo and Tulise escape. Among other Animaniacs, including a constitution of dinner scene which features Marie reminding Thomas O'Malley about what the numerous folks are used for. As O'Malley scratches himself with one, the dog suggests just digging into the food, but all cats are distracted by the Christmas sweater he's wearing, which the dog gets defensive about. Marcello arrives and introduces himself to the rest of the family as Marie tries flirting with him. Much to O'Malley's disapproval, anchovies are served up, leading the dog to excuse himself due to them making him feel sick. Marie would have been cornered by some street cats before Marcello would have come in and chased the cats. It turns out that the true thief was the captain, using Marcello as his means to steal the items, which leaves Marie heartbroken. Marcel reveals that the captain intended to turn Marie's family into scapegoats, and Marie insists they need to go back, but Marcello is reluctant, which leads to Marie calling him out for his selfishness. Another Animaniac, Marie and Thomas O'Malley sneak into the captain's quarters where all the jewelry is being held and grab a necklace, leading the captain to chase. While the captain chases them, Berlizzo and Tulise rush onto the bridge to send an SOS to alert the authorities. The captain chases Marie and O'Malley up the lookout point, and just as it looks like he's going to toss them overboard, Marcel returns and uses his claws to cut off the rope the captain is using to keep balance, leading him to fall into a pile of life rings with the other passengers recovering their stolen jewelry and the captain being taken away by the authorities. After the dog character calls for a flock of seagulls to poop on the captain, Duchess and O'Malley wish each other a Merry Christmas. And then there's the gallery. There is a bunch of concept art for this movie, which I will show off in the video, and I will also link the article for this Lost Media Wiki video if you want to see more. There is a colored model sheet of Marie, Tulise, and Berlizzo. There's a colored model sheet of Madame Adelaine Bonfamily, and a colored model sheet of Marcello with Marie. Once again, I would like to thank Sam McFarlane for suggesting this video to me. Thank you so much, Sam, for suggesting this video to me. I really appreciate it. Once again, I would like to shout out Platinum JM, aka Kidback1988, for suggesting me those Lost Media videos that I did a year ago. And that is Lost Media category 184, The Aristocrats 2, Disney canceled animated film 2008. And if you guys like this video, please don't forget to please like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Period. Hi guys, I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be Lost Media Category 185, The Aristocrats, the animated series, canceled, unreleased Disney animated series 2000 to 2007. Honestly, I came up with that title by myself because this is another Lost Media where I am not using the Lost Media wiki for the article. So previously there has only been 3 other times where I have not used the Lost Media wiki without an article, and the first 2 times were from Kidback 1988. Shoutouts to that guy for suggesting those 2 Lost Media videos to me and giving me the information for those videos. So thanks to him. And then last week I did a Lost Media video on the Aristocrats 2, which was a canceled Disney animated movie from 2006 to 2007 or whatever it was. And that was suggested by Sam McFarlane. And he suggested that, and it was not on the Lost Media Wiki. There was no Lost Media Wiki article. I had to use the Disney Wiki on fandom.com to get my Lost Media information for that video. And it's going to be the same thing for this week. I'm using the Disney Wiki on fandom.com once again to do this Lost Media video. And once again, I would like to thank Sam McFarlane for suggesting another Lost Media video to me. So thank you so much, Sam, for suggesting this Lost Media video to me. I appreciate it. If you have any other Lost Media suggestions, like always, just post a comment in one of my videos for your suggestion. Or if you want to suggest something else that is not Lost Media related, you can do that as well. Just post a comment. But anyways, let's get into this Lost Media. So, the Aristocrats animated series was a planned spin-off of The Aristocrats. The show was originally created in 2000, but took a break in 2001, but restarted in 2003, and production was canceled in 2006, thanks to Pixar's intervention since it was being purchased by Disney. The show was created to reinvent the characters of Maria, Tulise, and Berlitzo, and turn them into teenagers instead of them staying their little cat selves from the movie. Other characters created to expand the cast were Delancey, who would have been a main character as well, and the Street Cats. The show was canceled. It was originally supposed to have a release in 2002, but was soon rescheduled to late 2006 or 2007 and release, and was supposed to be rated TVY. However, the show was never released. And there's also trivia for the show. As noticed in the storyboard, Maria is not wearing her pink ribbon around her neck. It is the first time she's seen without her bow. Berlitzo is not wearing his red ribbon. He's wearing a blue ribbon. And Tulise is not wearing his blue ribbon. He's wearing a green ribbon. The first time the kittens have friends their ages, and the first time having them as new characters debuting. This is the first time Berlitzo plays violin instead of just piano. The kittens are standing up like humans instead of standing on floors like real cats in their own ways. In 2024, or 2024, that was a mistake by me, concept art depicting another Aristocrats series was leaked, depicting Marie, Duchess, and O'Malley Judging by the Disney television animation logo on the concept art, it appears that work began on the second try in the series sometime after 2014. It is unknown at this time if the project has been canceled or is still in the development stage. And then there is a gallery of concept art from this animated series that was unreleased and canceled. The gallery contains some of the sketches that were designed by Glenn Henson, the creator of Monster High. So there is Marie as a teenager, Belitzo and Terlise as teenagers, and Delicacy, a new friend of the kittens. And that is Lost Media Category 185, The Aristocrats, the animated series, canceled, unreleased Disney animated series 2000 to 2007. And if you guys like this video, please don't forget to please like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace, period. Once again, I would like to thank Sam McFarlane for suggesting this video to me. Thank you so much, Sam. I appreciate it. Thanks. Peace. Hi guys, I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be Lost Media Category 186, Hercules 2, The Trojan War, canceled Disney animated movie 2001. So once again, I would like to thank Sam McFarlane for suggesting another Lost Media video to me. Thank you so much, Sam, for suggesting this Lost Media video to me. I really appreciate it, and it means a lot. This would be like the 5th or 6th time that Sam has suggested a Lost Media video to me, so I appreciate it. This would also be the 6th time that I have not used the Lost Media Wiki for one of my videos. The last 2 weeks I have used Disney from fandom.com, but unfortunately the Disney Wiki didn't have an article for this, so I had to use the canceled movies wiki from fandom.com, but fandom.com is a pretty good source if you don't have the Lost Media Wiki, so I would give it a recommend. You can take that with what you will, but overall, yeah, so this would be the 6th video that I've not used the Lost Media Wiki for. Hopefully it does not become a common thing. It's not really a common thing for me not to use the Lost Media Wiki, but in some cases when the Lost Media Wiki doesn't have an article for it, I have to use another source, and fandom.com is a good source. So let's get into the Lost Media video. So Hercules 2, The Trojan War. Hercules 2, The Trojan War, or just Hercules 2, is a canceled Disney film that was scheduled for release in 2001. It was supposed to take place sometime after Hercules, the animated series. It was revealed in October 2001 that Ron Clements and John Musker were interested in a sequel. Plot: Hercules is now living in Athens with Megara and their daughter, Hebe. However, when an old friend named Helen is captured by the evil Paris of Troy, Hercules joins the united Greek army as they head out to war. However, this war will create revelations, and Hercules finds out an old friend who eventually goes missing. Why was it canceled? 1. The proposal phase wasn't finished. 2. John Lasseter took over as head of Disney in 2006 and called off future direct-to-video and DVD releases. 3. Hebe is in mythology Hercules' 4th wife, not his daughter. Result: the film was permanently canceled. Due to the proposal phase not being complete, the project was permanently canceled. This makes Hercules the only Disney Renaissance movie not to get a follow-up in some form, not counting The Rescuers Down Under, which itself is a sequel. and Hercules is a standalone film. And that's pretty much about it. There is really no videos. There is no concept art for it. There is a few pictures, but not a lot, only 2. One of them is going to be the thumbnail for this video, and the second one is going to be just a backup picture for the video. And once again, I would like to thank Sam McFarlane for suggesting this video to me. Thank you so much, Sam, for suggesting this video to me. And that is Lost Media Category 186, Hercules 2, The Trojan War, canceled Disney animated movie 2001. And if you guys like this video, please don't forget to please like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Period. Hi guys, I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be Lost Media Category 187, Wildlife, Lost Production Material for Canceled Disney Animated Film, late 1990s, 2000. So this video was once again suggested by Sam McFarlane. Once again, Sam, I would like to thank you for suggesting another Lost Media video on the channel. I very much appreciate it. So, this was another suggestion from Sam. This would be like his 7th or 8th Lost Media video suggestion on the channel. This would actually be the first Lost Media in a while that actually is on the Lost Media Wiki. I do my research for this before I even do the video. And this Lost Media was on the Lost Media Wiki, and there is a Lost Media Wiki article for it. So let's get right into it. Wildlife, not to be confused with the similarly named 2006 computer animated film, The Wildlife, is a canceled late 1999-2000 CGI animated film directed by Howard Baker and Roger Gold, and was to be animated by Disney's then-current special effects team, The Secret Lab. The movie would have been reminiscent of the 1970s American pop culture and would have paid homage to popular figures at time such as Andy Warhol, Anna Wintour, and Diana Vreeland. Plot. The film's plot was loosely based on George Bernard Shaw's 1913 play Pygmalion, as it involves Red and Kitty Glitter trying to find a new star for their club Wildlife, as Kitty Glitter, once the star attraction for Club Wildlife, has dwindled in popularity, into contrast to Magda, the editor of the popular fashion magazine Magazine, and an operator of the popular nightclub that rivals Red's club. Red and Kitty Glitter then find their new star in Ella, a talking elephant they found in the zoo. Ella is reluctant to be a new star for a club Wildlife, but after an accident on stage where she is electrocuted by wires, she instantly transforms into a singing diva and becomes rich and famous, much to Red and Kitty's delight. However, Ella soon gets tired of her new lifestyle and wishes to return to the zoo, which eventually causes complications for Red, Kitty, and Ella. Development. Wildlife began production in 1999 under a team of animators that included Hans Bacher, Floyd Norman, Jim Hill, George Mack, Doug Walker, unrelated to the Nostalgia Critic actor. Craig Kellman, Buck Lewis, Darnell Kidder, who also served as the head of the story. In the words of Jim Hill, the directors were hoping to create something that would really knock the socks off the competition. They wanted Wildlife to have a mature edge and wrote some adult-oriented jokes. However, the people working on the movie, especially the animators, often worried that Disney would not want to release the film. This constant fear was realized when Roy Disney, then vice chairman of the board, viewed the presentation reel in the fall of 1999 and stated that he was appalled at the mature humor, particularly one joke where two gay characters are about to enter the sewers, and one remarked, "Have you ever been down a manhole before?" and ordered the film to be shut down. The Secret Lab had previously produced the 2000 CGI animated / live action film Dinosaur with Disney, but after the film was shelved, the company shut down. Availability. Though concept art from the film has been made available through the 2008 book on the canceled Disney animated film titled Disney Lost and Found, exploring the hidden artwork from never-produced animations by Charles Solomon, no footage of the film has ever been released to the public, and no pictures or videos of the presentation reel have ever been leaked. So, there is a couple videos actually, but I'm not going to show them off in the video due to copyright reasons, so I will just link them in the comments and the description of the video. But there is animation test of Kitty Glitter, and then there's also an animation test of Kitty and Ella. And then, there's a bunch of concept art. I'm gonna try to use most of the concept art in the video. We'll see what happens. There is a lot of concept art, but there's concept art for Ella before becoming a performer, concept art of Kitty Glitter by Hans Barker, concept art of Ella unhappily performing by Floyd Norman, visual development by Hans Barker, visual development by Mac George, a concept art of Ella being electrocuted by Floyd Norman, visual development by Craig Kellman, concept art for the club patrons by Doug Walker, Magda by Hans Barker, Kitty Watches Ella is Sweet Talk by Red, visual development by Doug Walker, Ella by Darrell Kidder, the exterior of the club by Mac George, Ella in the Zoo by Hans Barker, and sketch by Ray Shazny. Once again, I would like to thank Sam McFarlane for suggesting this video to me. Thank you so much, Sam, for suggesting this Lost Media video to me. I really appreciate it, so thank you. And that is Lost Media category 187, Wildlife, Lost Production Material for Canceled Disney Animated Film, late 1990s to 2000. And if you guys like this video, please don't forget to please like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Period. Hi guys, I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be Lost Media category 188. Chanticleer, partially found production material of canceled Disney animated film 1940s to the mid-1960s. So, once again, I would like to thank Sam McFarlane for suggesting this video to me. This would be his 8th or 9th suggestion to my YouTube channel. So once again, thank you so much, Sam, for suggesting these lost media videos to me. I really appreciate it. And if you ever want to recommend something other than lost media videos on my channel, you can. If there's a short film you want me to review, I will review it. If there is a food you want me to review, I will review it. If it's new. If there's a new food you want me to review, I'll review it. If there's a fan film that you want me to review, I will review it. If there is anything else you would like to suggest on my channel, please do. But once again, thank you for suggesting another lost media video to my YouTube channel. So, this is Chanticleer, and Chanticleer was going to be an animated movie based on Edmund Rostand's play Chanticleer. It was in development from the 1940s up until the mid-1960s and never saw completion. Though the film was canceled, its character designs later inspired the 1973 Disney animated film Robin Hood, as well as the animatronics for defunct American Sings attractions in Disneyland. Plot: the film takes place on a partisan farm in the late 1800s. Much like the play, Chanticleer is a vain rooster who has all animals believe that his crowing is what brings up the sun each morning. He later realizes his arrogance and makes amends to find the strength to defeat his enemies. Development. In 1943, Walt Disney learned about the Chanticleer story and told a story man, Ted Sears and Al Perkins, to see what ideas they could get from the material, but they had trouble making the rooster a sympathetic character. Walt combined the project with another project going under the title Reynard the Fox, inspired by a French folk tale. This gave Walt the idea to create an opposing villain character that would help boost sympathy on the rooster. Multiple films were already in development, so the project was put on hold for the majority of World War II. In the 1960s, work was finished on the animated film 101 Dalmatians. Mark Davis and Ken Anderson decided to collaborate on the film, inspired by growing popularity of Broadway musicals. Going down to the Animation Archive Library, they both came across the Chanticleer concept art and liked what they saw. Hearing of this news, Walt urged the duo to scrap all work done on the project and start fresh, hoping that they could get it done this way. Though they were getting a significant amount of work done, other animators were more interested in the sword and the stone. However, Roy Disney, the head board of the studio, was trying to convince Walt to halt the project on all full-length animations in order to concentrate it instead of this two theme park in Anaheim, California, and Orlando, Florida. Although they disagreed to this project, Walt made the decision to cancel one of the two animated projects currently in production, and Chanticleer was ultimately the animated project that got shelved due to it being cheaper to animate humans than animals. In 1981, Mel Shaw proposed to story rewrite. This would have depicted Chanticleer as the most macho chicken in all of France. This was quickly rejected by the heads of the studio for some same reasons it had been in the past. This Chanticleer animated movie concept was later revived and turned into the movie Rock-a-Doodle, directed by ex-Disney animator Don Bluth. Few elements from the Disney development remained, such as the pheasant being made into Chanticleer's love interest and the fox being a villain character. Other than that, there is one video, and this video was made by Joe, the Disney guy, discussing the subject, and I will link his video in the description of the video. There is also a bunch of concept art as well. Unfortunately, I'm probably not going to be able to show all the concept art in the video, but I will link the article in the description of the video if you guys want to see all of the concept art for yourself, because there is a lot. There's like about 50 pictures, and for like a 10-minute video, I'm not going to be able to fit like 50 pictures. So if you guys want to look at all the pictures, I will link the article in the description of the video. But I tried to get as much concept art for the video as possible. I tried to grab the most interestings that I thought that were interesting. But yeah, that is Lost Media category 188. Once again, I would like to thank Sam McFarlane for suggesting this video to me. So thank you so much, Sam, for suggesting another Lost Media video to my YouTube channel. And that is Lost Media category 188, Chanticleer, partially found production material of canceled Disney animated film 1940s to the mid-1960s. And if you guys like this video, please don't forget to please like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace, period. Hi guys, I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be Lost Media category 190, Newt, partially found production material of canceled Pixar animated film early 2010s. So once again, Sam McFarlane has decided to suggest another Lost Media to the YouTube channel. This would probably be either his 9th or 10th Lost Media suggested to the YouTube channel. Once again, I would like to thank Sam for suggesting another Lost Media to the YouTube channel. I really appreciate it, Sam. Thank you. So I have known about this Lost Media for a very long time. Newt is a pretty popular Lost Media that a couple people have talked about already. A couple of famous people have talked about it, though Newt hasn't really been in the spotlight for a couple of years, actually. It's actually been a long time since somebody has talked about Newt. I think I would be the first person in a couple of years to talk about Newt. But anyway, let's get into it. Newt is a canceled Pixar animated film written by Gary Rydstrom and Leslie Cavani. Had the film be made, it would have been the studio's 14th feature film. It was going to be made by Gary Rydstrom, full-length feature film director debut. The film was originally scheduled to be released during the summer of 2011, but was pushed to 2012 before ultimately being canceled due to having a similar plotline to Blue Sky Studios' animated film Rio, which was released in 2011. Plot. According to a Disney press release, what happens when the last remaining male and female blue-footed newts on the planet are forced together by science to save the species, and they can't stand each other? That's the problem facing a Newt and Brooke, Heroes of Newt, the Pixar film by 7-time Academy Award winner for sound Gary Rydstrom and director of Pixar's Oscar-nominated short Lifted. Newt and Brooke embark on a perilous, unpredictable adventure and discover that finding a mate never goes as planned. Even when you only have one choice, love, it turns out it's not science. Cancellation. At the April 2010 announcement, Disney/Pixar didn't provide an update release date for Newt. Additionally, the film was removed from the official Disney A to Z Encyclopedia supplement by chief activist Dave Smith. An unsigned message received from Smith's email address stated that the film has been canceled. This message, along with the comments from other industry insiders, led to the speculation that the film had indeed been canceled. In a 2014 interview, Pixar's president Edwin Catmull stated that Newt was an idea that wasn't working in the pre-production stage. When the project was passed to director of Monsters, Inc. and Up, Pete Docter, he pitched an idea that Pixar thought was better, and that concept became the film Inside Out. Availability. Even though several concept artworks for the film and the soundtrack have been linked to the internet, which can be viewed in the videos below, no footage for the film has ever been released to the public, and it is unknown how much progress the animators made on the film before its cancellation. Due to no new announcements about its production on the film will continue or have a new release date by either Disney or Pixar, this film will never likely see the light of day. Now, at the beginning of the video, I said there was a couple videos, and I will link these videos in the comments and the description of this video. I'm not going to show them off due to copyright reasons, but I will link them in the comments and the description of the video. So there is a video for the film's concept art and the soundtrack. There's also a video by Brian Seekers, a video on the subject, which that's one of the famous YouTubers I was talking about who already covered it. And Dad's Reviews video on the subject, which is another famous YouTuber that has done a video on the subject. It's been a while since anybody has done a video on Newt, but I'm happy to be bringing it back into the spotlight once again. So thank you for Sam for suggesting this mini video to me. I appreciate it. And that is Lost Media Category 190, Newt, partially found production material of canceled Pixar animated film early 2010s. And if you guys like this video, please don't forget to please like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace, period. Hi guys, I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be Lost Media Category 191, Freddy Got Fingered, partially found deleted scenes of Tom Green comedy film 2001. So I'm going to be using the theatrical poster for Freddy Got Fingered as the thumbnail of this video. This Lost Media is partially found. And before I get into this Lost Media video, this article has been tagged as not safe for work due to its adult themes. So I will be saying some stuff in this video. I would like to say that this video is not for children, so if your children plan on watching this video, get your children off this video right now, because I will be talking about some adult topics in this video because this is an adult comedy. Another thing I would like to mention is no lost media suggestion from Sam McFarlane this week. But Sam is always welcome to suggest another lost media video to me. So, Sam, you're always welcome to suggest another lost media or suggest anything else you want on the channel. Anyways, let's get into it. Freddy Got Fingered is a 2001 black comedy film written, directed by, and starring the infamous MTV gross-out comedian Tom Green in his directorial debut. The film follows Gord Brody, a 28-year-old slacker who attempts to fulfill his dream of becoming an animator and proves his worth to his abusive father. The film was panned at the time of its release, with many calling it one of the worst movies ever made, and won 5 Razzie Awards, which Tom Green publicly accepted, becoming the second person in Razzie history to do so since Paul Verhoeven, the director of Showgirls. Despite this, the film received a cult following and nowadays is regarded as the primary example of troll humor and a middle finger to the film industry, as well as being a parody of the comedy scene of the early 2000s. Tom Green has stated that he filmed much more footage than what is seen in the final film, and has expressed interest in releasing a director's cut, particularly in 2011 for the film's 10th anniversary. This has never transpired as 20th Century Fox owns the footage. Cut scenes. Several scenes cut from the film can be found on the DVD, as well as in trailers and behind-the-scenes promotional special that aired on MTV. Deleted scenes on the DVD are available with optional commentary from Tom Green. Scenes found on the DVD include Gord sucking on cow udders, an entire subplot featuring Gord going to live with his Uncle Neil in Los Angeles, who had a relationship with a Native American man. Neil is revealed to own the cheese sandwich factory Gord is seen working in the film. Extended scenes taking place in the cheese sandwich factory, Gord quitting his job at the factory, and an Apocalypse Now homage that is an extended version of the scene in which Gord draws his cartoons. The original scene featured the Doors playing, but it's silent on the DVD. Gord's dad speaking with the police about his son. During the end credits, several outtakes are seen playing, including part of the cheese vat dance taking place in the factory, Gord calling his dad stupid after having his skateboard ramp broke, Gord playing with the dead deer intestines after dissecting it just before the outtakes conclude. Tom Green is seen again covered in the intestines and says, "What the fuck are you doing?" Gord playing with his friend Darren's open wound after the skateboard accident. Gord making odd sounds with his throat while pitching his cartoon to Mr. Davidson. More footage of Gord sucking the cow. The mobile home in Pakistan exploding. Gord playing with his fish at a fancy restaurant. Tom Green and then his wife, Drew Barrymore, who plays a receptionist, goofing around on set After the credits end, they are seen kissing and disappearing behind the wall. An outtake featuring Julie Haggerty and Shaquille O'Neal, Tom Green falling off his skateboard during the opening scene. In the theatrical theater and few TV spots, some alternate takes and shots can be seen, including an alternate version of the Sausage Song and an exclusive clip at the end with one of the pulp mill workers commenting, "Think they could have come up with a better title." In the MTV special, there are several cut scenes that can be found, including Gore dropping his dad's boat into a giant wood chipper from the helicopter he hired. Parts of the scene can be found in various TV spots. This scene is referenced in the police scene on the DVD. An extended version of the bank scene, some behind-the-scenes footage of various cut scenes, Gore's dad lecturing him in the bathroom. Promotional stills for this scene can be found. An extended version of Gore telling a customer to put a cheese in his bum. Some alternate takes of the skateboarding scene. In the PG cut, which is mere 3 minutes longer, some alternate shots can be seen, including a different angle of Gore being kissed by his mom as he leaves for LA, an alternate take of a scuba diving team, and an entirely unused shot where one of the cheese sandwich workers can be seen talking to Gord. Most of the scenes are covered with narration. Availability. There is some uncertainty about how much footage was removed from the original cut of the film. More sources claim that the original cut was an hour and 50 minutes, the final film being an hour and 27 minutes. But in the MTV special, Tom Green states that the original cut ended up at over 7 hours. Much of this could be alternate takes or extended footage. Despite several scenes resurfacing, the full director's cut and remaining footage has yet to be released. The film itself has never been released on home media since its initial release and has never seen a Blu-ray release. There have been petitions and talks of releasing it through a citation collection in 2024. Only the final film ended up on the Citation channel for a limited time. A 25th anniversary re-release is possible for 2026, but given that Fox is now owned by Disney, this is likely to occur. In 2024, Tom Green released outtakes from the Sausage Party song scene on the Fingers Crossed scene, which is only available to members on his YouTube channel. He confirmed via Twitter that he has all the footage recorded for the film on video. Additionally, the Library of Congress appears to have archived film reels from the movie. There is also some videos, but I'm not going to show them off in the video due to copyright reasons. So these videos I will put in the comments and the description of the video. So there's a scene with Tom Green talking about the cutscenes. There is the Sausage Song outtakes, and then the Fingers Crossed outtakes, which is a members only thing. So if you are subscribed to the Tom Green YouTube channel, you can see these Finger Crossed outtakes. But that is Lost Media Category 191, Freddy Got Fingered, partially found deleted scenes of Tom Green comedy film 2001. And if you guys like this video, please don't forget to please like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Period. Hi guys, I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be Lost Media Category 192, Frady Cat, Lost Production Material of Canceled Disney Animated Film 2004 to 2005. Once again, Sam McFarlane has decided to suggest another lost media to the YouTube channel. So thank you, Sam, for suggesting another lost media to the YouTube channel. I very much appreciate it. Thank you. And like I said before, if you would like to suggest anything other than lost media, you can. But once again, thank you for suggesting another lost media video to the channel. Frady Cat is a canceled Disney film that was directed by John Musker and Ron Clements. Character and background designs were done by Andreas Deja and Harold Seiperman and Hans Barker. The movie was to be released in 2009 but was shelved in 2005. It was allegedly a satire of a Hitchcock noir film. Plot. The film details the adventure of Oscar, a cat, and Corina, a cockatoo. They're two spoiled pets that live an easy life in their owner's London flat until a fellow neighbor's pet is kidnapped, and Oscar is the prime suspect. The two set off on a mission to find out the real culprit in order to clear Oscar's name. Cancellation and availability. The initial story reel was presented in May of 2004 by David Stainton, then presented of the Walt Disney Feature Animation. Wouldn't agree to greenlit development on the movie because he did not see it as a marketable to general audience, and he felt like that kids wouldn't know who Alfred Hitchcock is. To this day, it's unknown how far in production the movie got, but what has surfaced of the movie is a handful of concept art, which is very much true. I'm gonna be using most of the concept art in the video, not all of it, because there's like 22 pictures of concept art. I'm probably only gonna be able to use half the concept art for the video, but if you guys want to see the rest of the concept art, I will give a link to the Lost Media article in the description of the video. So there is a lot of concept art. And then I am actually not the first person to cover this Lost Media, actually. The Cartoon Catastrophic made a video on the subject. Now, I'm not going to show off his video and my video due to copyright reasons, so if you want to see the Cartoon Catastrophic video on the subject, I will link his video in the comments and the description of this video. Once again, I would like to thank Sam for suggesting another Lost Media video. I really appreciate it, Sam. Thank you. And that is Lost Media Category 192, Frady Cat, Lost Production Material of Canceled Disney Animated Film 2004 to 2005. And if you guys like this video, please don't forget to please like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace, period. Hi guys, I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be Lost Media Category 193, Ketchup Plus Partially Lost Original originals from streaming service 2020 to 2021. So I'm going to be using the logo of the streaming service for the thumbnail of this video. And this lost media is partially lost. Now, there is no suggestion from Sam McFarlane today, but Sam already knows what he needs to do. If he wants to suggest another lost media video to the YouTube channel in the future, he can. And if he wants to suggest anything else to the YouTube channel, he can. But let's get into the lost media. Ketchup Plus was a Canadian streaming service that was launched by Doritos on June 22nd of 2020 to promote the ketchup flavor of Doritos, which were released for a limited time in 2020. It was a parody of Disney Plus and catered to a Gen Z audience. So I have had the ketchup Doritos. Now, this was post-2020, and this was post-2021. This was like 2023. I think in this lost media, they're referring to the original ketchup-flavored Doritos, but I was able to do a food review of the tangy ketchup Doritos on my channel, so if you have not checked out my food review of Doritos ketchup, tangy ketchup, go check it out. The service would feature 21 original films, all under 10 minutes long, and were free to watch. All films were themed solely around ketchup Doritos and were available in English and French. The films were also made by various different creators and influencers who partnered with Doritos. Within 5 weeks of the service launch, it had 151,974 site visits with 39,428 minutes streamed. The streaming service was so successful that it actually raised the prices of ketchup-flavored Doritos to as high as 24 Canadian dollars on eBay. However, the service was later shut down on September 6th of 2020. It came back for a short while on June 3rd, 2021, before closing for good on July 4th of the same year. Entering the website for service ketchupplus.ca will now direct you to the Tasty Rewards website. It is unavailable to search for on the Wayback Machine, as only thing saved is the black triangle background. As of July 2025, 11 out of the 21 films have been found. The rest of the films are considered as lost and unavailable to watch. Originals: 1. Advanced the Hypnotherapy, found. 2nd, The Art of Flavor, found. 3rd, Background Science Academy, found. 4th, Bottom Bag, lost. 5th, The Interview, lost. 6th, The Catch, lost. 7th, Ketchup Cook-Off, lost. 8th, Ketchup Calm, found. 9th, Ketchup Kiss, found. 10th, Ketchup Power, lost. 11th, Ketchup Vision, lost. 12, Lord Doritos, found. 13th, The Mysteries Uncovered, found. 14, The One True Love, lost. 15th, The Oversight Success, lost. 16, Phoenix, found. 17, The School of Thought, lost. 18th, The Thrift Flips and Chips, lost. 19, The Trail Runs Red, found. 20th, The Triangle, found. 21st, The Wishing Void, found. And that is Lost Media category 193, Ketchup Plus, partially lost originals from streaming service 2020 to 2021. And if you guys like this video, please don't forget to please like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace, period. Hi guys, I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be Lost Media Category 194, The Shadow King, canceled stop-motion Disney movie. So I had to go to the canceled movies wiki for this Lost Media because the Lost Media Wiki didn't have an article for it, and the Disney Wiki, I felt like, didn't really give me a lot of information. I mean, the Disney Wiki and the canceled movie wiki, they both didn't really give me a lot of information about this Lost Media. So I felt like I had to do the one or the other, so I just decided to go. I felt the more appropriate one was the canceled movie wiki. And this would be the first Lost Media in a while that I have not done from the Lost Media wiki. I've talked about this before on my channel, but there's only been like on a few occasions where I haven't used the Lost Media wiki for a Lost Media video. A lot of times I get information from the people that are suggesting the Lost Media to me, but sometimes I have to either go to like the Disney wiki or the canceled movies wiki if it's for like a Disney movie like this one. And once again, I would like to thank Sam McFarlane for another Lost Media suggestion to the YouTube channel. Thank you, Sam McFarlane. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And if you want to recommend anything else to the channel besides Lost Media, or continue suggesting Lost Medias to the YouTube channel, please do. But let's get into it. So, The Shadow King. The Shadow King, or The Shade Maker, was going to be a stop-motion movie directed by Henry Selick, the director of The Nightmare Before Christmas, James and the Giant Peach, Monkey Bone, and Caroline. Plot. It was going to be about the fantastic adventure of an orphan boy named Hap, who would have the particular power to transform his world with shadow games. Cancellation. The work was done. The work that was done was discarded in 2012 due to creative difference between Pixar team about the tone of the story and how it needed to be developed. Results. The original version that Citybider and Pixar collaborated was canceled. Apparently, Henry Selick will carry out the film redefined and rename it as The Shadow King with some other production company. On November of 2022, Henry Selick was interviewed by Double Toast Interviews and said that if Wendell and Wild become a success, he'd revive The Shadow King. Okay, so there is some concept art for this Lost Media. So there's a couple of concept art. There's concept art from Ruben Joseph of the Lost Media, and then there is also some concept art of a character named Richard. I'm guessing that character was going to be in the movie before the movie got canceled. And then there is a bunch of videos. So there's a bunch of videos from Henry Selick. There are a bunch of clips I guess. There's a bunch of clips from the director Henry Selick of The Shadow King. So there's clips 1 through 6, clips 2 through 6, clips 3 through 6, clips 4 through 6, clips 5 through 6, and clips 6 through 6. And then there's the Henry Selick the Shadow King animation test, and then there's the Henry Selick's The Shadow King, the greatest movie never made video. And that is Lost Media category 194, The Shadow King, canceled stop motion Disney movie. Once again, I would like to thank Sam McFarlane for suggesting another Lost Media video. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace, period. We're just going to let this run to 6 minutes.